What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher 745 ? 745. There, I think now it's more of a statement. And in this video, we're going to take a look at Blade and his new ISO. And by that I mean both of his custom ISO, but his new one is technically his Trident. Well, his newest. So here it is, the Trident Iso-8. And this grants him All-Nighter. Gains quickening at the start of combat. Well, that's fine and dandy, but what does this mean? We'll go over to his actions and find out. Blade's level 9 Bloodlust is a quick action, but it requires quickening to unlock. It also consumes quickening when used. Then what it'll do is grant him bursts of speed. He'll take 2 actions this turn. It also removes his debuffs, and grants him Vampiric Thirst. Increases accuracy, attack, defense, and evasion. And attacks with Drain Life now restore stamina. Now if you add the Manifesting AISO on it, it also grants Epiphany. So that's what we've done here. Epiphany means the next attack is guaranteed to be a critical hit. So a pretty nice round of buffs right here. It's incredible that he begins with this. And it will actually let you go into a loop, which we'll show in the matches. By the way, you can find that in Chapter 10 Mission 4's Heroic Battle. Now for his custom AISO. It's the Lambent Augmented Iso-8, and it goes on Bleeding Edge. This causes Bleeding Edge to become magic and ethereal. It also has a chance to apply up to 3 stacks of internal bleeding. Now this AISO unfortunately you cannot farm. I think I actually got it from lockboxes, but originally it was in a few spec ops. So yeah, you may actually be able to get it, perhaps from a lockbox, but it is more difficult than his EISO to get. Still though, we want to show all his character-specific ISO, and that includes the Lambent AISO. So let's get into the actual matches and see how much his custom ISO actually improved this character. But in this case, I don't think it's any surprise. It makes a world of difference. Now don't get me wrong, post-fix, Blade works a little bit differently. For example, here he is not going first. That is unfortunate, but he was definitely broken with Spitfire. He still could be a good team up for her though, but we're going to go ahead and avoid her for this video. We begin with Blue Marvel, who's a great teammate for anyone. He's going to buff Blade and do a ton of damage himself. Then next match, I'll tell you right now, we're going to use the Urban Jungle Black Panther ult. We also have a pretty special thing that we'll get into in the next match. Before this first fight, it was pretty interesting. We're actually facing a Beetle team. So it was nice to see something different. Here on Blade's actual turn, we'll use Close the Gap. Then there's Bloodlust available. And with his high stakes, we can finish Quicksilver right now. So we'll do that first. This attack does have Fatal Blow, so no matter what, it's going to knock someone out. Now after that, we'll use Dead by Dawn. Beetle steps up and takes it, so she'll also get hit with Bleeding Edge. Now to be honest with you, because of his 2 turns, you can actually set himself up to have Quickening and use Bloodlust again. So like I said, it kind of ends up being a loop. That's a very nice loop to have. It makes such a huge difference. Really, without this EISO, Blade just so-so. But with it, he's actually a pretty awesome character. So I would call it a must-have. It took me a long time to get it, so if you still haven't, well, you may have even worse luck than me, but trust me, it took me a lot of runs. Just keep at it. You should eventually get it, although there are still a few things I'm after from Chapter 10. Despite running the mission hundreds of times. Or at least 100. I tend to lose track, but it's pretty much non-stop. Still though, we do have quite a few of the new EISO and AISO. And that's why we're going to have a poll on who we should cover next. Like I said, we'll get into that next match. But I just want to prepare you all. As for this current fight, Blade's going to be up next, and what we're going to do is use our level 2. We kind of messed up last time, or else we should have had our Quickening. Still though, he'll do a follow-up attack to Beetle, and hopefully we'll be close to knocking her out. This team has been a lot more resilient than I expected them to be. Definitely taking a lot more than I thought. But hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It may make for better matches. Now one thing I'm pretty certain about is Blue Marvel's going to knock someone out, and we're going to do that with his level 9. So we'll target the enemy agent, And Beetle seems like she wants to be knocked out, so we'll drop her. Then since we actually have Bloodlust, we'll use that, then close the gap, followed by Dead by Dawn. Now you know he's going to do a follow-up attack, and since the enemy agent's very close to death, we can use our Fatal Blow attack next turn. Well, our agent's going to finish him, or else we would use High Stakes. And either way, he was getting knocked out. So that's it for our first match. We're going to squeeze one more really competitive one in. And like I said, we'll feature Blade and Black Panther in his alternate costume. Since Blade's unfortunately going last for us, let's go ahead and get that poll started. Now I'm going to try to add a special link on this video somewhere, but I've never done a poll before, so I'm not sure how it's going to work. Just in case, and for anyone who may not know how to vote anyways, and you'd rather comment, here are the options. We can cover any of the following characters and all their custom ISO, whether it be A-ISO or E-ISO, and they'll be moved to the front of the list depending on who you vote for. So here's some of the choices: Deathlock, Chase Stein, Anti-Venom, and Moon Knight. So out of those characters, who would you most like to see? Either use the poll or let me know in the comment section below. And just let me know in general if you like having the option to vote. Maybe we'll try to be a bit more interactive, at least on some of our video choices. As for this match, the enemies have so much HP, and their defense seems incredibly high. I blame that monstrosity, but we're barely doing any damage. And that is something I did not expect. But after using Bloodlust on Blade, we're going to make sure to start their Dead by Dawn. And then we will of course get a follow-up attack. Now we currently have the Mauling A-ISO on it, so it applies flanked as well. And what we're going to make sure we accomplish this time is gaining quickening each time Blade's up. So essentially we'll be able to use that level 9 every single time it comes around to Blade's turn. Never ending double attacks. And they end up being even more since he's a scrapper, and he's at level 15. Like I said, Blade's very impressive, especially with his E-ISO. And the A-ISO doesn't hurt either, but it's certainly not as important. Now with Black Panther as our teammate, of course we can end up setting him up as well, with his Panther stance. But we'll want to do all of his other abilities first. So that means starting with his level 9 quick action. Now there's reasons that his abilities do a bunch of different things, and that's because he has some custom ISO of his own. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll cover him in the future as well. But his ISO also make quite the difference. I say all that because starting with the reflexive Augmented Iso-8, it causes Vibranium Daggers to become a quick action. Very important. That's from Season 2, Chapter 4, Mission 6. But we don't want to get carried too far away from Blade. Now next up, on my agent's turn, we're going to use the Relentless Rapier and try to go after Beast. Because of flanked, we'll also get a follow-up attack. The Rapier actually misses, but our Brawl lands at least one hit. Not great. But we're slowly wearing down the Horseman of Pestilence. Great though, he is going to get an extra turn. And hey, at least on his attack he's going to miss us and take bleed damage. So with all that bleeding, we should get him eventually, though it's taking a very long time. Another Jekyll and Hyde and more bleed. But hey, Blade comes through out of nowhere, and he's going to knock him out with high stakes. So Blade so far is definitely our MVP. And if you're wondering why in the world did he go ahead and do that, it's because of Vampire Hunter. Chance to assist when an ally attacks or is attacked. So take that, Beast. Now hopefully Black Panther can show a little bit, but like I said, these guys aren't taking much damage at all. They're dodging a ton of attacks, including somehow my agent, and even when we do hit, it's not for much. So we may need Blade to rescue us from these other characters as well. The lunacy of course doesn't help, and then they keep using Monstrosity. But on Blade's turn, we do have his level 9 ready to go, and so we'll use Bloodlust. After that, we're going to have to recharge because we don't really have any stamina. And then with our actual attack, we're going to use Dead by Dawn on the enemy agent. Let's just hope that something good comes out of this. So here we go. Ooh, lots of crits. At the end of this double turn, we actually knock him out. So Blade's 2 for 2, without question our MVP. Now on my agent's turn, I know we have Despair, but we're still going to use a Light Fantastic. I mean, look at all those debuffs. So yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. Unfortunately, it won't heal us for anything, and it even causes Purge to go off. But at least we got rid of all those dots. Then with Black Panther, we'll use his level 9, his quick action. He's going to be getting preemptively countered a lot here. And Cloak and Dagger, of course, are going to dodge. Still though, we're not going to quit trying. We'll use his level 1. Another preemptive. And, well, at least we land some damage. It's better than nothing. And the Rapier follow-up finally hits. Cosmic Cardinal lands as well. And a high stakes. So yeah, Blade once again almost finishes them. And after using his level 9, we're just going right for high stakes. And that will in fact end this match. So there you have it, Blade MVP. He took out all 3 of the enemies. And like I said, if you don't have that E-ISO, definitely farm it. But that is going to be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you all for watching. And ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.